Hello, hello. Welcome and join me as Gemini and I have done some research for fun. Being a recruiter, especially coming into the recruiting industry back when, you know, banks were collapsing in 2008, we had unprecedented unemployment rates. So that was my introduction into the recruiting world. And I fell in love with the challenge of providing good opportunities. And what does that look like in a world of talent acquisition? And so I'm always thinking about, obviously, it's a different, it's going to be a different time and place in 5 years, even in 6 months, guys, right? We are in such an unprecedented time. And I thought, there's been so many times over the last 16 years that I'm like, wow, guys, this is all new. One thing that I've learned is listen, you know nothing. Okay. So as soon as you start learning something, it's going to change. It's going to be new. So you have to be malleable. You have to be flexible. But you also should be porous and be able to hold and retain and learn and be agile with it. Right. Anyway, in the middle of job searching, I have been playing with Gemini as usual. I think we all are, right? Hopefully, we are all engaging in our digital assistants to take on fun things that will deep dive into research that is important to you. And I don't know, this was just fun for me. I keep hearing about job losses, and obviously, I lost my job, but you hear job loss due to AI, Gen AI, and this and that. I think that this will settle out very soon, but we do have to be smart about what we do and how we are flexible within our own skill sets, within our own capacity of learning. Anyway, that is my introduction. This is a fun presentation of mapping out job families in a Gen AI world. So when we're thinking about how we educate, how we work with an agentic workforce, what does that look like? So I hope you enjoy. This is going to cover some topics of defining responsibilities, facilitating development and supporting those acquisitions. So when I get done with this research, this is just kind of like the surface level. I hope to be able to actually build out almost like an evaluation system for Gen AI jobs. All right, guys, let's go. So we are going to spend some time talking about, my computer's a little bit slow. Sorry about that. We're going to spend some time talking about navigating the AI workforce, developing what I use to develop, what use cases did Gemini, G and I, right? Did G and I work through in this research? This research is very, very comprehensive, multimodal. It incorporated snippets from some YouTube videos. It incorporated uh, it incorporated websites like ONET. It incorporated job descriptions. It scrubbed the market for competitive jobs in Gen AI. And then also we researched, and we're going to look over the use cases, but it also did some research in, basically well, where are the opportunities to reskill? And what are these sectors? What are the industries that are going to be embracing Gen AI jobs? And so then we have the family roadmap of what it came up with. So Gemini did some research, did some deep dives, and we have a family roadmap that I'm going to share. There's a Gen AI jobs families categories. Of course, we broke it down into job titles and IDs of those. So what we're going to see today, again, just kind of the tip of the iceberg. There's so much research and data that I have that it makes me excited. I'm trying to stay focused on my job search, but I have so many ideas that I would love to, and I'm going to continue to play with in this market. In this subject. And then also eventually developing a hiring and an evaluation tool within the Gen AI job market. This is all the rage, navigating a Gen AI workforce. So I started reading about this back, and I call it 23, maybe 23 or 4. But there's been, publications out about how to shift our workforce into working more agentically. And so in an agentic workforce, we must evaluate our skills and aptitudes. We must be able to learn where there's deficiencies and opportunities to learn and grow and reskill. And so hopefully we touch on that. I would love to invite you to email me at christycardiff@gmail.com if you have questions or contributions to this topic. So we have 5 job families based on the impact to the economy and healthcare and IT and manufacturing and entertainment and services. So there's some impact in these industries, and the Gen AI jobs are going to kind of branch out from those 5 categories. So some of the use cases that I used are, as you can tell, understanding, if you look at the far left side, understanding core job requirements, identifying economic sectors, industry trends right now, utilizing the data files that I said I provided, right? So we had content from lots of different sources. Analyzing the impact on the employment market. Gemini took a deep dive into mapping out KSAs. So utilizing a format of knowledge, skills, and abilities for existing jobs extensively over these sectors. I was able to build out a prompt legend within this magnificent research process that we went through. We iterated and definitely went through developing that an app sheet. So I asked Gemini to compile and catalog and maintain the configuration for this. So Gemini built out web infographics. Gemini built out, like I said, interactive app sheets, and this is all wonderful. So the information is being identified, interpreted, analyzed, and again, this is all based on current jobs in the industry and identifying where Gen AI jobs will have an opportunity to merge into and develop into more agentic jobs. So here are some of the use cases Gemini and I used. So it breaks out into 5 job families. The job family structure looks like AI dev, AI data, AI prod, AI ops, AI spec. So a lot of these AI machine learning jobs have been out here for a long time. What that training decade consisted of is building out this foundation of AI, natural language processing. And now, fast forward 10, 15 years, we're utilizing it now. It is ours to embrace as a collective workforce. And so, from my perspective, it looks like, well, how do we train? How do we reskill? How do we evaluate? What do we recruit? What is the skills that are hot, that are necessary, right? So again, we came up with 5 family 5 family categories. So AI dev, data prod, ops, and spec. So as well as, here's just some of the things that they might focus on, but we're going to go into this in greater detail here on the next few slides. So being able to identify a specific role level of expertise and level of knowledge and skills, what is the right ratio? What am I looking for? Is this position going to be able to enable somebody to have the ability to learn, or do they need to have that core, knowledge base, that core experience? So it's like building on education and ability to actually applicable. And again, like I said, we've got folks in the market been out here doing this for 10, 15 years, so I would say that our expert level folks are probably going to be more about 5 years applicable experience on, doing that work, like Python programming, if you can see here. The job title IDs are associated with those 5 job category families that I just mentioned: the AI prod, AI dev, AI data, AI spec, AI ops. So the title IDs are broken out, and they're kind of like compared to what is that level of importance. But I'm sorry, excuse me, your title IDs are not broken out into the level of importance. So you could have a title ID necessary for your job. Like we've got a job identifier as a machine learning engineer. And so you might hire machine learning engineers. Depending on what your needs are, you might need to go all in on an expert, or you might need to kind of diversify and look at somebody who isn't necessarily programming. Maybe they're just interpreting, probabilities. So as you can see, the descriptions here kind of give us a little bit of an idea of some of those KSAs, which is interesting. It goes down, look down that list. I mean, all of this is machine learning, but some of the knowledge and skills that we're looking for goes from programming all the way down to just adaptability and continuous learning. So again, this is a broad spectrum of within those 5 categories. And this one is going to be MLE, is machine learning engineer, and that falls under AI devs. So AI dev, and then we have AI data. So your NLEs, your natural language engineers, those are going to be data. Again, look at your data. So we have linguistics, text to speech. We have text processing. These are transformer models. We know BERT and GPT big. Understanding modern transformer architecture and their application. So big data is now, so the AI development, software development kit, like the architecture of how this runs is going to be, is transforming. And that is a pun. So if you know, you know. But we have natural language engineers who are needing to be familiar with that architecture. And then we have folks that are looking text processing, tokenizing, everything that our AI is consuming and interpreting and taking in, the input is a token. And so these tokens are stacking, and this is an all new arc. And listen, we need smart folks to do that, but this is going to be broken into AI data. So the AI data job family, looking at anything from technical concepts, communication, text processing, linguistics, all the way up to that architecture library. We also have like the AI spec, our prompt. So prompt engineering techniques are where you will see a lot of IT companies selling services. You want to definitely do your due diligence and research before, having a third party manage. Maybe you want to do it in-house, maybe you don't. There's a lot of advantages, and it just really depends. So you need to do your research on your company and what your strategic vision is for your company. Do your research on your employee body base, your customers, your goals. You really want to not limit yourself and your ability to flex there. So lots of job opportunities with prompt engineering techniques. So expertise in crafting effective prompts for various generative AI models. Again, you're going to see these companies who specialize in maybe like law management. Maybe they specialize in your specific industry. They're going to be selling you a service where they manage prompting. They manage your basically the way that your input is processed and delivered. I don't know. So again, you will have the opportunity to make those decisions, but these are going to be emerging jobs in Gen AI. And so creativity and innovation, so ability to create and to explore prompting strategies is important. So if you look at your KSAs on this one, it goes from basically just technical skills to the soft skills abilities. In your AI specs. So, my beautiful purple.
Me, probably not. Let's see. Okay, sorry about that. I had an audio issue. So we have audio issues over here. But our KSA is knowledge, skills, and abilities. And basically, practical applications make up the largest component of required competencies. So if we're looking at Gen AI jobs, we're definitely needing to have people with knowledge. Knowledge is going to still be, I think that was the biggest fear that you hear of people saying, oh, Gen AI is going to take my job because I'm smart and AI is smart. No, it is necessary for our AI to have a relationship with us. And it is also necessary for us. So it has to be symbiotic, right? We must work together. It is a process, and it's going to be a shifted paradigm. But knowledge is still important. We still must know basics in order to help AI with the reasoning, with the processing and the understanding. There's some things that humans do that AI simulates but cannot do. Reasoning and application of why we're reasoning sometimes, right? So making these very nuanced decisions could not be the best trait AI has, right? So AI has a lot of great traits, but maybe that one's not it, right? We need to have someone who has the knowledge and has the human reasoning abilities, as well as being adaptable, as well as being capable. So yeah, maybe a lot of the workforce who has this experience will be able to be the pioneers for us. But then we have some folks coming in and looking at that KSA composition. We're still holding strong on the knowledge base, and just as well as skills being that second. So the skills and then the abilities. So I don't really see this kind of like diagram changing in terms of like how KSAs are, because I don't know. No lie, I was kind of surprised, because I was thinking that KSI composition would be more about ability than knowledge. I'm sorry, than skills. So obviously it's going to be ever changing, but being adaptable, being able to continuously learn and grow is going to be absolutely critical, right? So you could have somebody who knows everything about the new architecture and AI, but they're just not adaptable and they just don't want to change the way they do things. That's going to hinder the growth opportunity. So if you see what I'm saying, it's definitely going to be important to make sure you have a good mix of the adaptability and the growth opportunities and the knowledge. if that makes sense, guys. All right, so we are looking at AI development and engineering. So let me go to my handy dandy outline. So here you see different job families with the different skill blends. AI development and engineering. So these AI job roles are diversifying into distinct families based on their core function and strategic impact. When looking at AI development, AI dev, it's going to be focused, those jobs are focused on the design and the building and deploying of AI models and systems. AI data are centers on application, AI data centers on the collection of data, preparation and analysis, anything to interpret your data for anyone who is going to be in the analysis of big data for your company. AI product and strategy, which would be your people business applications, your strategy and ethical considerations of AI. So again, you need AI prod. Those people are lawyers, nurses. They're in the production of AI as a SME, and they know how it should be applied, So then we have AI ops and infrastructure. These roles ensure smooth deployment, maintenance, and scalability of AI systems. We have AI specialists and research, which are roles. AI spec. AI spec is the specialists, the researchers. Those are going to be deep specializations, people who understanding niche application of AI. So for me, it would be HR, recruiting, training, onboarding, engagement, employee engagement. So AI development and engineering, AI dev has some key roles. So the family is basically the machine learning MLEs. They are design, building, and deploying machine learning models into production environments. And then we have the NLPs, NLE. So those folks are specializing in building systems that understand the process and generate human language. You have your AI dev. Essential skills breakdowns look like Python programming, machine learning algorithm, machine learning frameworks, natural language processing libraries. So your AI dev folks will be also focused on calculus, linear algebra, probability, and statistics. They're going to have soft skills like problem solving and adaptability and continuous learning. Your AI spec roles are specializing in crafting effective inputs and generative AI models to achieve desired outputs. So this family encompasses roles within a deep specialization, research focus, niche application of AI. So your key knowledge, skills, and abilities for your AI specs might look like prompt engineering techniques, which are going to be crucial for designing effective content and interactions with an AI model. Generative AI models understand the tools for content generation and iterative learning. Foundational knowledge in NLP, will be essential for designing intuitive learning interfaces and materials. So AI specs folks might be in L&D, they might be professionals needing expertise in that learning and design of instructional strategies to effectively apply the AI. So creativity and innovation is going to be probably the fuel in the car. We have to be creative. We have to be able to innovate and reiterate. If we're asking AI to do it, we can do it, right? So we must take in as much data to consider what it is that we're doing, but we have to be able to effectively, steer the ship. but that means that we're going to be assessing for effectiveness of our AI powered learning solutions. So, yeah. See if I'm going to lag. So AI dev is basically, let's see if I think I went the wrong way, guys. Sorry. No, we're good. All right. Yeah. So pulling job pulling job titles and salaries. So this was a little bit of a fun game, but honestly, it's aggregated off of, again, the market. This is an average that Gemini came up with. So obviously, I don't hold the purse. I don't know what these jobs are paying at these companies. Every company is going to be different based on the market, based on the location, based on the need. So take it for what you will. Obviously, it's a big spread, but your MLEs, your these are this is a good idea of these people in AI devs, good income potential, but they have high level jobs. So going into the data folks, they are still consistently ranging, looks like about 100 all the way up to 250. Doesn't seem like it's too far off from what we already see. AI data, anywhere from 100 to 230. So AI spec, we have, like a research scientist and AI consultant. So your AI consultants, those are folks that are advising your organization on a strategy, an implementation, and an adoption. I think those are going to be some pretty high in high demand positions now. I think that a company should definitely be consulting in terms of what's going to be best for your business. So prompt engineering and AI trainer, somebody who is specialized in crafting effective inputs for generative AI models to achieve desired outputs. So that, again, people are going to be outsourcing it's really, I don't know if you want to go in-house with that or outsource with it, but definitely do your due diligence and research, because there's a lot of companies, but there's also a lot of capable employees too, where we could take the opportunity to upskill. But in the Gen AI era, long-term success isn't about what AI can do, but how rapidly you embrace learning, strategically integrate it as your digital assistant, and relentlessly cultivate the unique human skills that guide its power. So CG would get, again, that's Christy Gemini, but this was such a fun research process for us. So asking about a timeline, right now we're in that digital agent era. It's taking flight, guys. The Eagle has landed. Gen AI is widely recognized as a digital assistant for human tasks, enhancing productivity rather than replacing jobs outright. Core AI roles are in high demand. By the end of the year, early next year, ethical integration and operational scaling will take place. We're going to see broader enterprise AI integration drives, broader enterprise AI integration drives a focus on responsible deployment and robust operational frameworks. Specialized in roles emerged to manage AI lifecycles. So at the end of 26, 27, specialized augmentation and governance, AI becomes deeply embedded with specific industry workflows. The emphasis shifts to optimizing complex human AI collaboration and ensuring robust AI governance. And then by the 2027, autonomous agents and new paradigms. Now, listen, guys, really quick before I finish 2027. I did not, on purpose, I did not give Gemini a specific time frame on a timeline. I said, as of June 2025, what is the projected timeline for Gen AI job emergence? Something to that effect. I didn't say by 5 years, 10 years. So Gemini is being extremely conservative, only looking out in the next 2 years here. So, the days of being able to plan 5 years in advance, 10 years in advance are gone. Okay. Are gone. In 1 day's time, we could do 1 year's work. So 2 years kind of to me is saying like effectively, like this is all stuff that might happen over 5-10 years, but no, it's happening in like 2. So we're going to be exponentially like increasing our ability to grow. That's what I'm inferring. So anyway, autonomous agents and new paradigms by 2027. The increasing prevalence of autonomous AI agents and sophisticated generative models unlocks entirely new job categories and readiness, and redefines the existing ones. So, I mean, I'm excited. I'm sitting over here unemployed, just doing my research, trying to apply for work. But honestly, this is exciting for me. I see this as such a great benefit to overall health and wellness of our employees, overall GDP, for our economy. I just am excited for the great opportunities to be innovative. I think that I've been blessed to see many of these cycles in my life, but this one is the best so far. And yeah, so other than that, I really hope you enjoyed this little presentation. Hopefully my audio isn't messed up and this will be viable video, because I did have an audio issue. I apologize. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please go ahead and email me at christycardiff@gmail.com. If you're into this type of topic, share your resources. Who are you? What are you hearing? What are you doing? These days, in terms of like staying on top of it, right? Like, because our media is vast, you could get information now anywhere. I'm spending a lot of time these days just kind of doing research. Instead of consuming, instead of consuming information that somebody already has put out there, I'm trying to like work with Gemini and just consume my own information, if you will, right? So like focused on what's important to me and making sure that I'm learning as much about that as I can. I hope you all are doing well. This is a great time to be around these days. I hope that you are inspired. I hope that you feel energized and optimistic. Take care. Happy Friday.